podcast, third space podcast, third space podcast, third space podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Third Space Podcast, episode number 49, Father Bennett. I am Bennett, but I am not a father. The reason why the title of this episode is Father Bennett is because Daniel introduces a new segment called Father Bennett. This segment is similar to Mind Your Morals, but instead of being a broad moral situation or ethical dilemma that we discuss objectively, it's a narrow parenting-focused situation that I basically give my own takes on, and I explain how I would behave in the particular situation. So we try that out in this episode with a situation regarding a daughter who maybe tries to wear clothes that push the boundary a little bit, and I think it was a really fun discussion. Who knows whether people will agree with my decisions or not? I don't care if you do either way, but hopefully it's entertaining. One way or the other. So, without further ado, please enjoy the episode.
Third Space Podcast, Third Space Podcast, Third Space Podcast, Third Space Podcast.
Third Space
Third
Podcast,
Space
Third Space
Podcast,
Podcast, Third Space Podcast, Third Space Podcast.
Oh, you nailed it. I should have carried through. I was going to try to do the bass line.
Here's the truth. I took off my headphones to do this one without laughing.
Got it. Well, you nailed it, and you were pitched.
So I didn't know you had even stopped. I was assuming
perfect.
we were doing it. I have a new segment for us.
Oh, excellent. What is it?
That was my segue.
That's it. That was the segue.
There was no segue, but I'm excited about it, and I'm calling it Father Bennett.
That's me.
Yeah, that's
But
you.
I'm not
because
a
you're
father.
You are not in
Not that I know
any
of.
sense of the word. You're not a religious figure. You're not a parent. But the scenarios I'm gonna this could be a recurring segment. We'll see how it goes. And this has a lot of wiggle room. But I'm gonna present you scenarios of varying complexity. I mean, this one's, I'm just giving you one. But like different scenarios, I could give you a child, change the gender, the age, the whatever, and the scenario, and just see how you'd respond as a parent. And like the idea is that you will realistically respond. I mean, I guess you could I'll let you respond how you want, but the idea would be that you would actually try and sort through your thoughts, your actions, what your first step would be, what your emotional thought, what you'd be thinking along the way, all that stuff.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Okay. So for this scenario, Father Bennett is the father of a teenage girl.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
No, I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
She's 13 going on 14. She's been really pleasant through the middle school years. They're supposed to be really tough, but honestly, you feel like you've gotten a little bit lucky. Yeah, she's got a good head on her shoulders.
Parenting.
She's respectful, she's academic, she trusts you generally, but you have noticed the beginning of ninth grade some stylistic choices differing in her clothing, and recently she's remained respectful, and it's kind of hard to put your thumb on it, but clearly she may be like, you're speculating here. Maybe has a friend who's maybe in the popular in crowd, because she's not, by the way, she's not like super dorky or a misfit, but she's also not like Miss Popular, Mean Girl, or anything like that either. She's just sort of in between and discovering herself.
Okay.
And so that's the thing, is that lately you've been a little bit concerned that she's, gotten into some things. Like, she used to just not care about fashion, but like last weekend, her mom, your wife, and her, went shopping, or, like she's more into clothes. She's like, Mom, I want some new clothes. I'm so tired. And just kind of that whiny teenager stuff. I'm tired. I don't have anything to wear. Like, and
okay.
like, and you just kind of bow out of that.
Yes.
So So here's the scenario. So that's the context.
Okay.
So your wife, her mom, are out of town, or she took a trip, so she's out of this scenario. But
So I have to make the decision in
yeah,
whatever this is.
yes. So it's a Friday night football game, and there's a sock hop afterward. You
A
know,
what?
like a casual dance. This is the '50s. A sock hop. I don't know. There's a dance, but it's not like everyone takes dates. It's a casual thing, and it's the big event of the evening, high school dance slash sock hop, whatever. You just hop around in your socks, I guess.
Is it
I think that really is where that comes
all
from.
girls?
No. It's a dance it's a
Oh,
social
well,
situation.
then my daughter can't go to
So-
that anyway.
So, well, hold on, I'm not done. So, like, you knew there was a football game. You had, and then
And I also know what football is.
yes,
Familiar with that sport.
and you're gonna have to drive her to the game, and you've agreed to this already. You're not happy about it, but like whatever.
You're
And
telling me
she
a lot
comes-
about what I am doing and thinking. That's okay.
I just need you to have the context of you're taking her to the
I understand.
football
All
game.
right, I'm taking her to the
And
football
it's-
game.
It's in this moment that you learn she's come out to present herself. Like it's after school, in between, like
She's
maybe
we're like,
an
she's
hour.
about to get in the car, kind of thing.
We're gonna say an hour or so before you're departing, right?
yeah.
And she's lets you know she says like she just comes out and she's wearing a like tighter, like your typical like oh no kind of moment, like a low cut top, too short shorts. This is, and you're presuming this is what you're like your first, like where did she get this? It must have been on that shopping trip. And she mentions the sock hop, and she's got a little bit of the attitude that she knows a little bit of what she's done by presenting herself, and like and the sock hop, obviously I'm doing that afterward. And the only added thing you're gonna respond to all that. The only added thing is if you're fresh, if you're just learning of the sock hop, and she's like, "Oh, mom, like already knew and is approved," and like she's just if you're pushing back on the what, there's a sock hop. I mean, I'm imagining like if you didn't.
Can we
know
stop
this.
using
Or
that
maybe-
word, sock hop? I don't know what that is.
I think it's hilarious.
I've literally never heard that word in my life. So can we just call it a dance?
Yeah. I'm just being funny because it's like very 1950s.
Okay.
Like, I'm just being stupid using this 1950s terminology. Yeah. So she's going to the dance, and okay, so you just basically take it away. But
So,
the second,
all right.
like
So just
but
some
she's
clarifying stuff
Yeah,
here.
go ahead.
So all right, is it true that all right, where did she get the clothes? Do I just not
Let's
know?
say that it
I don't
was
have
at
that
shopping.
I don't have
you
that
don't have that
information.
information, but like you can ask. I can be the. I don't want to role play this. This is not what I meant for it to evolve into. But I will answer some of your questions. All you have is you don't know, and if you ask her that, she says that's duh. She might not say duh, but she has a little bit of that attitude of like, well, I went shopping with mom. What'd you think I got? Like, paper towels. I don't know.
That little
But like
bitch.
you're
That little bitch. Go to your room.
so you presumably you take a breath, like she's like, when are we like
Yeah, okay. This is not that hard for me, I don't think. All right, so there's only one complicating factor, and it really has nothing to do with my daughter or the clothes or anything. It has to do with whether my wife approved of this, right? Because like whoever I married and had a daughter with she's not gonna accept us having a slutty dressing daughter either, right? It's not gonna be something that my wife is cool with either.
straight to slutty too? Yeah.
So neither of
Okay.
us are having that. We're not gonna have some slutty daughter, especially if she's ninth grade. That's just not gonna happen, right? So if it's true that my wife bought these clothes or was present when they were bought, which I kind of doubt. I'm kind of doubting my daughter on this. Then then I have a difficult time picturing what the clothes actually are. So I might have to rely on your guidance. Like, are these clothes, like, do they definitely cross my slutty clothes boundary, and that's the point of the situation you're putting me in, or is it, is it the case that maybe these clothes are, they're just a little different than what I'm used to, but they're not past my slutty boundary?
All right. Well, then I will try to. I, so for the it's a tight form fitting T-shirt that V-necks down, and you actually see cleavage, and presume, and then this is all startling for you because it's like you maybe haven't even seen your daughter's cleavage, like presumably like since changing diapers. I don't think babies have cleavage. What is cleavage? When does it become cleavage? When it
When there's a
when a,
cleavage is a physical description of like the indentation between the boobs. Like,
okay,
it doesn't have
okay,
to be
yeah,
boob.
yeah, yeah.
Cleavage can be anything with that little indentation. You can have cleavage in your car or something. I don't
So,
know.
okay, so but the babies like
Babies
like so
probably don't. I mean, really
males have
fat
cleavage. We have
babies.
cleavage. We have an area, and we have an area
Well,
between the
yeah, if you're really fat, then it makes kind of a crease, and that's the cleavage. If you're
okay.
not, if and you don't have big old man pecs, then you're not really gonna have any cleavage
Okay,
there.
but the point is, so she does have cleavage showing, and if you were to see this on an adult woman, you would think,
That's hot,
uh, yeah, but it's not
but
like
it's not on
oh,
my
it's not
daughter.
right, but um,
Okay, all
but
right. So I'm getting the picture of
it's
the
not.
shirt. It's a tight, low cut shirt.
Yeah,
Okay, and you said shorts as well. These
we'll
are
say jean shorts,
jean
and we're
shorts, and
not
they're
talking about butt hanging out where you can see the crease when you walk, like where the leg and the butt fat are. Like not that short, but it's like form fitting and gripping in the way that you could follow the seam of the jean to where it like goes in the crack of the butt. Like so it like really is a form. Like you just see the butt, like really in a way, all in ways that like would be generally I'll dare I say socially normed in but so
yeah.
like
It's only
she wouldn't
socially
stand
normed.
out
It's only
that
socially
much.
normed because other parents aren't like me and my wife, and we don't lay down the law and keep our daughters from going out in slutty clothes. That's why it's socially normed.
That is fair. And so she would not potentially stand out terribly from others. Though like that is the description I'm giving,
Right.
but
Well, all
also
right.
it's a stark contrast of what she's used to wear,
Okay.
and
Well,
so
given this description, it's not outrageous. It's not outrageous dress, but it is unacceptable dress. So yeah, I would make her change clothes. Sorry, you can't wear that. Um, or you're not going to the game, basically. And if it's true that mom approved those clothes, then we gotta have a talk about that too. Um, like I
So
think
take me to the moment then. She walks out and says, I'll be ready in the next like half hour. And she's wearing these clothes for the first time you're seeing it. She's not saying, I'm wearing these clothes, Dad. She's just saying, hey, I'll be ready in an hour, like half an hour. And this is so it's just a reminder there's the dance afterwards. So it might be a little like longer. And if you don't mind, please just make yourself like sparse, like no dad jokes and stuff like that. That's what she says to you, and she's wearing those clothes. So are you addressing her in that like wait a second, where'd you get those clothes? Like
I would say,
what
what
are
are
you
you
doing?
wearing? What are you wearing? Yeah, where did you get those clothes? Like, you're not going out in public wearing that, are you?
So you really do you immediately like
Yeah, I
you
mean, this would not be a surprise to her either. Like
right? She
this,
would go. It's probably. I
I
feel like
mean,
I'm setting myself up to role play the
yeah, like
teenager here.
honestly, this this situation wouldn't happen because she
Well, that's
would.
not going to happen a lot with you. If this game, you're
No,
going
I
to say it
understand.
never
I
would
get it.
happen because
No, I
because
understand. I'm just saying my daughter would already know I would disapprove of these clothes, and so she would be wearing a hoodie or something. Like she would
she'd hide
she
it.
would
You're saying you're
hide
not
it.
denying she would rebel, but
No, I'm
she
not
would
denying she
not.
would rebel, but if she wanted to wear these clothes, then she would hide it until the last possible moment. She would make it as difficult for me as possible to disallow her from doing this, right? So she would be
How
wearing,
about the okay? Can I change the scenario a
yeah,
little then?
yeah.
You're picking her up from the dance, and you had dropped her off with the hoodie and whatever, and you just really honestly had not thought a
Yeah.
thing of it. It's the hoodie she wears
I
all the
was real. I
time,
was thinking about the football game.
yeah. No, actually, tensions were fairly high because she had said, same scenario. She comes and says, "Hey, and don't forget I mean, the dance is tonight." And you're like, "What?" And you're kind of annoyed, but in a pretty typical Bennett or Father Bennett way, not in a like this is just like I didn't know this. This is frustrating. Why wasn't this communicated earlier? And so,
Right.
and she's just kind of had this like buzz of an attitude the whole time. Like, oh, this is mom knew about it weeks ago, and like we've already promised. And maybe you even called your wife up, and she's like, yeah, sorry. It was like whatever you accept, and you're not
Fine.
gonna like
That's
make your
fine.
daughter pay for it. But you're what I'm saying is like you're spent a little bit, and so you're picking her up at like 10:30, and like you're just like whatever. Like you are not. And then she comes to the car in said outfit, and
She slipped up. She didn't put the
she
hoodie
is
back
not
on.
she didn't slip up, or you don't know. How about that? You don't know.
Yeah, she just
She
decided
just
she
gets in the
maybe
car.
maybe she wore the clothes. She felt really confident because of it and had a good time. And she
Yeah,
thought,
and
"This
has
is who
decided
I
you're just so
yeah,
wrong.
this is
Like
who I
that she just
really
needs
am."
to.
Yeah, she needs to
Yeah, I need to
show
break
me
this. I need to break
that
through. And
yeah, nothing bad
yeah,
happened. And so all of
right.
I
Had a
would have
good night.
I would have
Whatever.
objected, but she got away with it and nothing bad happened. So that means my objections would have been wrong, right? So that's
So
kind of
she
what
gets in the
she's
car with almost a smirk, almost a like, now what, Dad? Your play, Father Bennett.
Yeah, okay. Well, it is my play, and I would say the same thing. What do you think you're wearing? Like, what are you wearing right now? Where did you get those clothes? Were you in the dance like that? You are now disciplined. Like, you're not wearing that anymore, and no more dances, like, for some period of time. Like, I
Just
mean,
what for the rest of my high school career? What do you do? What are you saying? Are you just punishing me? Like, is this all coming out of your mouth pretty like immediately?
yeah,
Like let me lay this down. Like it's
yes,
time to like this is a controlling moment for Father Bennett. Like this is
yes.
like
Yeah,
do
it's
you
clear. Like this is the moment, right? I'm being tested, and I'm not gonna fail the test immediately. It's up. I have eyes. I notice what's happening, and there's a problem. So yeah, I'm gonna address that immediately.
so yeah, you are like and you're addressing it with strength, I guess. Like it is one way to say
Yeah,
like
like
you're
look,
like
I wouldn't discuss this in this particular moment. It would be at a later discussion point. But I understand the the necessity for your child to fit in to her social group, right? And so you can't have your kid wearing a burqa or something, and well, unless they're in a burqa type environment, but my daughter
right,
would
right.
not be. Like, she can't look exceptionally goofy compared to her friends, but I don't accept that that means you have to look slutty, right? So I think that there's tasteful, fashionable clothing, especially for 13-year-old girls, right? Like, you don't have to have low cut shirts and booty shorts as a 13-year-old girl. You just don't have to have that. So, you know what? Sorry if you don't like that you can't wear your prostitute clothes. Well, that's too bad, but maybe you and your mom can find some tasteful clothes that are still fashionable that you can wear. I'm okay with that. Even if it costs a little more to get some tasteful clothes that you can feel proud of and brag about to your friends and say, "Oh, look, I got the latest whatever, five-way stretch, fancy
Do you-
teenager clothes." That's okay, but you're just not gonna wear. You're not gonna wear that. You're not gonna wear that. You're not gonna wear that out in public until you're older.
I guess all right. Here are a couple of things I'll try and push back on, or at least say like, all right, well, is there like you were right that this is a testing moment, and that you are not like you said you're not going to fail that test. Like you're not going to ignore this moment. I'm wondering if like because in some ways that's, I don't know if it's too extreme, but like it's the nuclear option. It's like, all right, you've done this. Here are your consequences, and and you're just not going to do this moving forward. And I wonder if this could potentially launch, like it could, like this, like she's changing, she's exploring her identity, and now at this pivotal point, like part of that identity might, like you might, it seems like that could potentially solidify her as the rebel. Like you'll either win or lose. And to me, like you might win and might, and she goes, "Dang it, you got me, Dad. I'm mad for a little while," and then she, or you might.
Yeah. So
Like,
what are you suggesting I
really
do?
tick her off.
What are you suggesting I do? Relent and let her wear whatever she wants. Let my 13-year-old daughter define her identity completely without any parental oversight.
Well, I don't know. I want to respond to that in just a second. My other, yeah, like I really do want to explore that. So I don't want to sidestep it as much as I want to just also get the other thing out. Are you setting yourself up for like now monitoring, like having to approve? Like it feels like weird. Like now now I'm in this position of approving or like thumbs up and thumbs downing all the clothes, or at least for a while since trust has been violated, or like if we wanted to quantify how big is the punishment, because you might say, yeah, hey, you can't go to the next dance for that, or you're grounded and taking your phone for 2 weeks, or I don't know, but
She wouldn't
like,
have a phone.
I'd be curious.
She's only 13. She wouldn't have a phone yet.
Okay. All right, yeah, so okay, so she wouldn't have a phone, and so yeah, you might ground her in a more traditional sense than like all her social activities. By the way, would that extend to if she was like a volleyball player, let's say, would you say like you got to come home, like you're missing practice this week, you're grounded, like that's part of the other than school, like you are done, or would you let her go to volleyball practice?
Volleyball would, if that was the case, then practice is part of her responsibilities as a team member. She would still go to practice.
Okay, yeah. Like, do you go on the next shopping trip, or like make the approval? Like,
I don't think so.
Do they return the clothes, or like...
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I imagine that my daughter, by this point in her life, would have heard me discuss women's fashion, at some point, and she probably knows. Like, she knew when she wore the clothes that I would not approve, right? So she has some understanding of where that line is. And maybe that line is a little fuzzy, and that's valid, and there can be some discussion about, making that line a little bit more clear. I don't I wouldn't desire or really think I would need to be fashion police and go on shopping trips and thumbs up, thumbs down things. I would just say, well, so let's be clear here too. In this situation, she didn't do anything wrong in the first scenario you presented me. She wanted to wear some clothes, and I said no. And okay, so she didn't do anything wrong. She just either was testing the boundaries or misunderstood what that boundary was. In the second scenario, where she deceived me and wore the clothes that she knew that I wouldn't approve of, now she's done something wrong. So that deserves some sort of punishment or discipline, right?
Yeah.
And there would have to be a discussion about why it was wrong. Okay, you deceived me, and so that's the reason you're getting the punishment. Now, if you want to prevent this kind of thing in the future, we can talk about why these clothes are unacceptable, and that would require more nuance.
Well, it made me think about this, like if I change the scenario slightly, and she decided, you deeply suspected she decided to play innocent, so she gets in the car so she did the hoodie thing, gets in the car, and doesn't have a smirk on her face. Is trying to play, and you're like, "What are you doing?" Maybe that's your opening question. What is that? And she's like, "What? Oh, these are just the clothes that we got. Wait, you're upset? Wait, I had no idea. I can't believe this. Dad, come on. It's just like, this is just an Aeropostale shirt or something. I don't know, whatever. Like, there's an issue because I feel like she's not having a good faith conversation. Like or at least that's like deeply and for the sake of this experiment, she's like really committing to this really a additional lie. She's doubling down, like she's knowingly.
Yeah, well, I'm not buying it, and it doesn't really change my response.
Right. So do you revisit in another conversation? Maybe like, look, like how important is it for her to come to that truth, or does it not matter? It's just like, I already know, and like, please don't lie again. But like that, I just know. Like, I don't know how do you, because there's so many layers here. This rebellion, and then trying to play the innocent. Because this seems like pretty realistic. This scenario seems realistic. And I'm wondering. So here's me. I was thinking like, I don't know, by the way, how to deal with this. I don't have some magical answer, but I do wonder if, like, clearly you're being tested. Clearly you got to acknowledge it, and clearly there should be consequences. So I'm with you all on all of that. I just don't. I think that
all right. I found the answer. Okay.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
All right. So I have to hire one of my buddies, or ask them for a favor or something. Like, I have to say, look, I don't like. All right. So when this event happens the first time, I have to say, listen, sweetie, I don't like you wearing this, but
you mean, listen, slut.
Right. Listen, you slutty little sweetie.
Do you want to be a slut when you grow up? Is that what you... Sorry,
Look,
I totally...
That
word's so harsh to me. I don't know.
It is pretty harsh.
Especially, like, it's worse than just, like, bitch has been more normalized than slut. Like, slug and... I don't know, anyway. I zoned out. I back up and say, you hire a friend.
No. All right, so in the first instance when, when she comes out in the clothes or whatever, I say, look, I don't really approve of these clothes, but you're an independent young lady finding your identity, and, okay, sweetheart, you can do whatever you want. And, she goes off to the dance. And so maybe at the next dance she's wearing, maybe she takes it a step further, or maybe not, maybe it's the same outfit, whatever the case. Anyway, I have to hire a buddy or get a buddy to conspire with me, and he's going to, I don't know, look as creepy as possible and hang out outside of the gymnasium doors, and then when she comes out to get picked up from the dance, then he's got to be like, hey there toots, hey there hot stuff, oh, I love that cleavage, oh, look at that aeropostale 5-way stretch, oh, I love it, those denim shorts that are, your butt's not hanging out, but they're tight and like, just, oh, I loving those shorts. You're looking real slutty. Love it. Anyway, all that kind of stuff. And, really, really let her have it on the content of her dress. And that way, this win-win, right? I'm not the bad guy.
Win-win. Everyone, yeah.
I'm not the bad guy.
Gets some eye candy,
Sure, yeah. Look.
Your daughter gets shamed.
She's shamed appropriately,
within reason.
Yeah,
right. Like, precisely. It sounds like precisely shamed.
Precisely shamed. Very.
That's how you've coached your friend.
Look,
I need precise shaming.
Precise shaming.
I don't want you to just.
There's no danger, right? This is a friend that I trust. I didn't actually get a stranger, a homeless guy, or whatever to do this, so there's no real danger. I'm not the bad guy. My daughter gets in the car crying, saying, Daddy, some creepy guy that looks like your friend was just saying nasty things to me. And I'd be like,
nasty and oddly specific.
Oddly specific about like my dress.
He mirrored your beliefs exactly.
Yeah, right. And I would say, the world is
like a wise but creepy older man that shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, first off, he shouldn't be there, and we should probably call out campus security. But secondly, that's what happens when you choose to wear clothes that reveal your body in this way. And maybe you should think about wearing clothing that doesn't provide those kinds of opportunities, sweetheart.
And that's what happens.
So there, man. I mean, one of two options.
You're so ready for fatherhood, man.
One of two options. Like, I can handle it myself, or, I've got the win-win.
Oh, man. That's I I mean, because I'm guessing the real answer is not like not a since we're not psychologists and don't have the research and literature in front of us, it's not going to be that interesting. But I'd like to think I'd say something like I would have to establish that I see this and that I disapprove, but and I don't want to be too gentle. And oh man, this is where I don't know like you knew this would frustrate me, right? Like I'd have to start from a position of and let's say they denied it, right? The girl was like, no, what are you talking about? Why are you? And then we have to back up further. But I'm gonna guess that given everything in the relationship, they're gonna say, yeah, look, I knew. And it's all right. Well, walk me through your choices. Like I want to hear you out here. Like what's going on? And I guess the most important thing is less about what I'm saying than how I'm saying it. That and I'm pretty calm and like I'm not fired up and angry. I'm just like, well, look, like
Yeah, this wouldn't make
why?
me. It wouldn't make me angry. This wouldn't be an anger-inducing uh situation. I don't care so much
I feel like
about.
it's a classically it angers fathers in a classic sense that like oh their daughter is becoming a sexual creature like it's like and they don't like handle that well and so that's part of their like they
Right.
want to preserve the innocence and they also like have keen insight in what it means to be a man and a boy and all you know and
Sure.
everything in between that and like so that is a the transition from boyhood to adult manhood is what I'm saying and
Yeah.
like and that just like so with this carnal knowledge I don't know with this I and their daughter like they just don't handle it well and I think the daughter like is absolutely oversimplified and oversimplifying doesn't have access to all that knowledge is naive in so many ways but ironically casting the father is like naive and out of touch and all of that so yeah I just would want to best like disapprove and have a consequence without like making this like we're engaging now in a battle yeah, and then
Yeah, I mean,
yeah
I think that battles are inevitable. Like you are going to have battles, and it is my intent to win those battles. Like that's just the way. Like, all right, as a parent, my job is to not only not only provide the rules and the guidelines for behavior, but the reasoning for it as well. And as long as I do that, then I've kind of fulfilled my obligations. Where you were saying, kind of walk me through what you were thinking here. I don't care so much about that because it's kind of irrelevant. Like I don't care what your thought process was. The end result is that you made the wrong decision, and you tried to wear these clothes that you knew I would disapprove of. Now, is it nice to have that really close, relationship where you can discuss all that stuff? Yeah, maybe, but your kids aren't your friends. They're your kids, and it's your job to set the boundaries.
yeah okay yes and I think I would have probably somewhat similar boundaries to you I mean I think so and so I think that like I don't actually care what they say when they give their reasons. I just need to make a space for them to feel heard. And the reason is like I actually think I misspoke and you're right, there are battles and it is a battle, but I think the most effective strategy to win that battle is to frame it as if it's not a battle, at least to them. And behind the scenes, it's kind of like teaching. Like I have objectives for a particular piece of literature that I want to get them to, and I want to guide them there. But I don't just say, this is it, this is where we're going. I kind of go, what are your thoughts? Oh, really? And then I mold and guide and get them to those objectives. And so it's just, so I just, it's a strategy thing is
Yeah.
that like, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create buy-in by listening to them, talking it out and all of those strategies. but it is a battle. Like it is.
Yeah, I mean, I would
So,
certainly, I would certainly ask, why do you want to wear this? And the inevitable answer would be, all my friends are, this is what is popular right now, blah, 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 blah. And that's where I would say, like, okay, well, you and your mom can go get you some clothes that you think are fashionable, but that aren't, slut clothes. And because my objection is not to, you being fashionable or fitting in with your friends. I do not have any objection with that. But, you know, there, some clothes are just across the line. And
and I
those
do
are,
wonder
young
if
lady.
like I do wonder if there's a victory more long term in that like so let's say everything I described is in my like better to have that conversation and kind of and have the consequences and make sure that and the consequences are about misleading me, and intentionally diverting out, like subverting our expectations and in essence that's a lie, that's not, and so
Yeah, I mean,
there'd be punishment there, and then I would also say there might be compromise and okay because what I'm describing, I think the clothes, this particular outfit, like is right up to the line, and so the compromise might be like, okay, fine, that is it, but we're never like you've just like you're so lucky to have that granted that like you don't even try going an inch further. In fact, it could all come crashing back. Like if you even try to go further than that, I'm gonna rein it in so tight you don't even want to know, or
sure.
so far or whatever. And like so, I just am wondering like
Yeah, I
when I
mean,
say compromise, I'm not saying like let the kids get their way as much as I'm saying like
well,
you have now. I mean, I don't know. I'm wondering. I guess big picture, to what degree do you compromise with
a
kids?
lot
Because
depends on
you
the
will, yeah.
specific clothes too, right? Like the way you describe, it's hard for me to picture exactly what you're talking about. And it wasn't there a famous, there's a famous legal line from some judge or justice saying about pornography. I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it. You know that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
Well, it's the
heard
same
that
thing.
before.
Like, maybe I can't exactly describe what a slutty outfit for a 13-year-old is, but I know it when I see it. And so, we could maybe find some agreement on, okay, the shorts just can't be, this tight or this short or whatever, and the shirt can't be this low cut, but it can still be, on brand and fashionable, but just this particular one is not, not acceptable. Like I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of wiggle room there, honestly. And
I do
also
too. I
too,
think.
like
Go ahead.
I mentioned, my job as a parent is to set the rules and then explain why the rules are the way they are. And we didn't really talk about that, but I would make it very clear, because obviously I'm going to get some pushback and rebellion on this, and if it is a battle, then it's my job to say like, listen, I'm not doing this just to battle you. I'm not doing this because I want to thwart you or make you unpopular. I'm doing it because by wearing clothes like this, you may not realize it right now, but there are people out there that are either your peers or creepy old men standing outside the gymnasium who are looking at you with sexual eyes, right? Like there are
Yeah,
dangers to young women from these kinds of people that you're not even thinking about, you're not even aware of, but that happen, all the time, and you don't want to fall prey to that. In addition, there are consequences for yourself because again, you may only be doing it now because you want to be popular and fit in with your friends, but it puts forward a style of dressing yourself in a sexual manner, essentially objectifying yourself and not putting focus on the things that maybe should be more attractive about you. It's
I
instead putting all that stuff to the side and making yourself only a sexual object. And those are all the reasons why you can't wear these slut clothes, sweetheart.
I do. I do think, unfortunately, it's so true that I mean, first, like, fake it till you make it, and fake it till you become it. That's true, and that like, so what happens when like the norm becomes like overly sexualized teens and preteens that like, like that's that becomes their norm before they even understand.
Yeah.
That's just how they're presenting themselves, and then they like it's
Well,
norm and
and
they
that
fake it.
it
They're
is,
faking it at that point, and they become it or
yes.
make it
Well, and
into
it
who they
is
are.
normed, has been become normed because parents broadly have not, they've not been willing to have this conflict, and have just kind of gone along with whatever.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about social media too, and I know like the weird
Oh yeah.
connection. It's just the bane of our existence because what it did is it seemed to me that maybe 20 years ago or even pre-social media, it was just that like there was a high school style of clothes and there was a college and then there was young professional and just very clear and it markers of style and age and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think social media is just sort of like done away, like because what ninth grade girl wouldn't want to dress like the cool 23-year-old celebrity?
Mm-hmm.
So like all the style has just there's no delineation anymore. So you have the trendsetters, and those are the oldest because that means a lot in young people hierarchy. So oldest of the young, right? Not too old to be uncool, but like oldest of the young, which your celebrities can be 18, 23, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
then they're trend setting, and so then all the college people are wearing it, so therefore all the high school people are wearing it, therefore all the middle school are wearing it. It's like
Right.
okay.
And regardless of the fact that my daughter wouldn't have social media at 13, her friends may,
Right,
and
that's
so
the
she
thing.
could
Social
still
media
be,
will influence your kid deeply,
yeah,
even if they don't
regardless.
have it, just because that even not having it obviously is going to put her as an outsider in that regard. She might even like best case scenario, she's thankful for that and more well adjusted. Like that's best case scenario, but like that's still she's going to learn of bullying or
Mm-hmm.
soothe her friends in crisis or like you know be tangentially aware and eventually aware of when she does step into those waters. You know, so
Well, I would hope the hope it like you told me that my daughter we've gotten along really well. She has a good head on her shoulders, and she's not been terrible for a teen so far. So all of that given, hopefully in the non-contentious situations, we've had plenty of time to talk about what's right and wrong and how you should behave and all of that sort of thing, so that she's at least armed with the rationale. And so when she's out there with her friends, maybe her friends are in a situation, bullying or some fashion thing or whatever, maybe some of that sinks in and she can express that. And like if everyone was armed with that same sort of knowledge base, then it would be better for everyone, and it wouldn't be
let me
parenting by social media.
one thing that floats around in teacher land, and I'm in parenthood and all of this is that as we are trying to get our kids to do the things we want them to do, and in some ways you could frame that as like live the good life and be moral, like they're actually saying but um in your teaching and in your parenting, don't moralize the behavior. So like if they do something wrong, to say like shame on you or that was wrong, you made a bad mistake. Like they're saying that's not as effective. I mean, there should be consequences, there should be boundaries, but to be very conscious about not making it like that behavior. You were bad doing this. Like
Mm.
you were. What are your thoughts on, or even celebrating like for instance, if they do something good in like academics, instead of saying you're smart, they say you should praise the effort. You worked really hard and had a great result. That's awesome, and to do that is even better.
Um,
Because if you set them up as a smart, like they are just intelligent, then when they, get a bad grade, they feel like, oh, then I must not be intelligent. Versus you could say, hey, maybe you didn't work that hard on that one.
no, I think I disagree with that. My gut reaction is to disagree. I mean, my gut reaction is always to just tell the truth, right? And so if my child does something bad, then I'm going to say that they did something bad. Like I'm going to make that moral call. Now, how heavily you want to lean into that, there's a bad way to go about it, But well, look at me saying there's a bad way. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should say the way you chose was just not ideal. You didn't put enough effort into choosing the way. No, I think there is right and wrong, and if you're being a bad person, then you should say that. You should say there are bad ways to be. There are bad ways to behave. There are bad people in the world, and there are good people in the world, and you can categorize those with respect to great. Are you smart or not? Some people are smart, and some people are not smart. Is my daughter smart? If so, then I'll say, wow, you're really smart. If she's not smart, well, then I won't say that.
Would you be more likely to say like nothing, or would you just kind of say, look, I'll give you an exact a specific approximation of your intelligence, but it ain't that high?
I mean, there are probably more diplomatic ways to say that. I think in that situation, well, look, there are two main ways to succeed: be smart or work really hard, or obviously a combination of both will do even better. So if my daughter was not that smart, then I would encourage her to work really hard.
What about this? Dad, I'm bad at math. She's in ninth grade. She's getting B's and C's.
Well, she's a female, so that's,
so of course you are.
again, just
Sweetie.
say the truth,
But would
Yeah.
you be more inclined to say, hey, look, let's not put yourself in a box.
Yeah,
You're producing a narrative about this. But
yeah, it doesn't matter how bad you are at math. No one is that bad at ninth grade math, so you can do it.
And if you continue doing that bad, pointing to her test,
yeah, right, exactly.
You're just a lazy slut. What has happened to you?
Yeah, obviously I'm pretty good at math, and I probably would get my kids started on math early and outside of school as well. And so, yeah, I would probably have a good idea of where my kids are in terms of their math ability. And yeah, certainly any math struggles they have, I'd be able to help with that. So yeah,
What about just the genuine question, Dad? Am I a younger kid? Dad, am I good at math? And your indication. You might even have a hard time answering that.
Yeah,
what does a
how old?
6-year-old good at math look like?
Yeah, there's no, I mean,
no,
that's a
6-year-old
hard.
is good at math.
That's a hard. Yeah, exactly. That's a hard. Fill in the blank. Dad,
Son,
am I good
until
at?
You're an adult.
Yeah, right. Dad,
nothing
am I
you
good
do
at?
Will be very
whatever.
good. So that should be freedom. I'm telling you the truth, and it's freeing. Accept it now that you're bad at everything.
Yeah.
Even if you're the best 6-year-old at it, you're bad at it.
Well, I wouldn't say it like that to a 6-year-old. Not to a 6-year-old.
Your art is not going on the refrigerator.
Well, that's true.
You see,
I mean,
do you see this painting that David made? Good luck.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. If they can do better than me at whatever it is they're asking, then I would say, yeah, you're good at that. But this parenting strategy won't work for David because, in terms of art, they'll beat him pretty handily, quickly, and so
really quickly.
And so he won't have any way to orient himself. Oh yeah, you're good at art. And meanwhile, they're drawing a square with 3 lines out of it and calling it an elephant.
Very funny.
But yeah, I would probably, I would have to come up with some sort of way to frame it. I would probably be I don't know, I could be really lame and say, well, do you think you're good at it?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or just say if it's art, oh, I really like that. Is it good? I really like it. There we go. That's true. Sure, I like it. You produced it, kid of mine.
What if you don't? You probably don't. Let's be honest. Bennett doesn't like kid art.
Well, it depends. I mean, it depends on what it is. I would like. It depends what it is. Is it an alligator? I like it. Sure. Is it a helicopter? Yeah, I like it. Great. I might have some critiques. I might say oh, well, where are the teeth? You didn't draw the teeth big enough.
Yeah.
And sure,
that
add
might
the
be
teeth.
good too.
There we go.
That they at a young age they get used to small critiques that are gentle. I like the alligator. Where are the teeth? That sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And then not only do they learn how to take simple, gentle critiques, they end up with an alligator that has teeth, which like obviously
yeah, better product.
you don't want a drawing of an alligator without teeth. That would not be okay. Yeah, basically,
Imagine.
I think I knocked this one out of the park. And I might go out and sire some children now.
I just like we you won't have the case study until like happens and the kid like
I know.
go to war with a teenage girl. Oh man, like
Yeah, obviously, yeah, it's not always easy, and like the things, you know, in a way, it's both easy and difficult for me to answer these questions on the spot. On the easy side, it's because it's not real, and I don't have any consequences for for saying what I say, you know, on the podcast. On the hard side, though, like I also don't have the benefit of reality. Like in the actual situation, I would already have a relationship with my kid. I would already know all of the context. I would already have the benefit of all of our previous conversations. I would know what she knows, and I would know what to expect of her behavior, you know? And I don't have any of that in this situation. So,
I might start with like a younger baby next time. You know, I don't want to give any. I'll just
yeah,
leave it
sure.
at
No,
that.
you should.
So,
I really like this. I like this idea. It makes for good conversation, I think. And I can also pitch my radical parenting styles and solutions every now and
maybe
then.
I'll learn a thing or two.
Yeah, you could learn a thing or two. I mean, you're up for kids before I am, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, I'll try my best to prepare you for
And I can go
fatherhood.
back to listen to these conversations. Wait,
Father Bennett.
oh no,
Oh, no.
oh no, her jeans are tight. Quick, get podcast number 51 or whatever.
Bennett, get your best fake beard and homeless clothes and show up outside of the gym 8 p.m. I would do that for you, my friend, if I had
I
to.
appreciate that. I would stare at your
I would
13-year-old
ogle,
daughter
I would
and make
ogle
her
and
get
catcall.
ogle, that's it.
I would ogle and catcall your 13-year-old daughter if you had to, out of
In
love.
the name of friendship. I will ogle and slut shame your 13-year-old daughter in the name of our friendship. All right.
Hey there, hey there. Oh, is that the end? Are we ending it?
I feel like that's the perfect ending line.
All right, that's it.
All right.
Did it.